Hello, everyone. This is Kimberly, your host, and
we're here with Keeping It Real. I'm also here with the founders of Papa Chilo's Healing Hands. Present yourself, ladies.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly Meza.
And I am Morella Meza, and we are sisters.
Yes, we're sisters.
We love it. A sister-found company. All right, so we're going to dive into some questions. I'm going to try to make this as neutral as possible, so you won't be like, good interview. But anyway, so let's start going. So how did you come up with the business name? Like, what's the story there?
So it all started off with my grandfather. His name was Cecilio, but we all called him Papa Chilo. And he was actually the local balm oil and tincture maker in Michoacan, Mexico. And he inspired me growing up, just seeing how he used the earth to cure our bodies. And so that's how I grew up, and the reason that we called it Papa Chilo's Healing Hands was because we knew that we wanted to continue his legacy. And something that we always said is Papa Chilo has manos sanadoras. Like healing hands. And so we wanted to obviously, let people understand what that meant. And Papa Chilo's Healing Hands for us truly embodies everything that we're trying to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it first started off with just healing hands. So we were just known as Healing Hands. But after sharing our story, a lot of people requested that they were personify your product, which I felt resonated with us the most because we're trying to keep his legacy going. So we were you can either call us Papa Chilos or Healing Hands. But yeah, that's where our logo is inspired by an actual photo of him. So we try to personify and
that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So is that one of the reasons why you started this business, just to kind of keep on with his legacy and, keep moving? What impact did he do in y'all's life? Why? What's the story there with him?
Yeah, I love that question.
Yeah.
So my journey started off at the age of 14. I was actually diagnosed with scoliosis, but before that I had 2 years of severe back pain where I couldn't stand up. I couldn't sit down for long periods of time, and no one was able to describe where that pain was coming from. But all I knew is that I was in pain, and I was scared that was going to be me for the rest of my life. And Papa Chilo ended up being let me send you some of myself that I make. And ever since then, I've been able to live a normal life, no surgery, and still deal with my scoliosis just with our salve. So, and that's how he impacted me. And so now I'm I want to share that with others so that they know that there is another way to cure our bodies using natural herbs.
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
And then I feel for me, the way that he impacted me wasn't more on the healing side. I feel for them, that's their gift, and they also love all the herbalism stuff. But for me, it was more on the spiritual journey. I feel Papa Chilo was one of the most godly, faithful man to ever walk this earth. And I feel he was just a huge example for our family of how it looks to walk with Christ. And I feel I remember having one conversation with him before he passed away, and I wish I would have had so many more, but I just wasn't mentally there with my faith. But he talked to me about God, and in that moment I didn't appreciate what he was telling me as much as I do now, which I regret, and I wish that I did have more. But I feel his actions spoke volumes. So to this day, I feel he's still teaching us stuff through the way that just he lived. So that's pretty amazing. So I think that also resonates with how we're a Christian-based product and company, and I think that's very important in our values as a company and a product. So just wanted to share that.
No, that's beautiful. Yeah. I love that he inspired your religious journey. And if you could describe your product in one sentence, what sentence would you use to describe your product? If someone came up and was tell us about what's your product what would you respond with?
I would say true natural Mexican healing.
I think my sentence would be Mexican herbal skincare inspired by our faith.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, she's I got you. I love that.
I practiced this one. I looked myself in the mirror and I said it.
What am I?
But that's beautiful though, because like, you know, like people are going to be asking like, okay, why this? Or whenever you go to pop-ups, I'm pretty sure you get this question.
Where they're like, okay, like,
what's your product about? And you only get like about 1 to 2 minutes to talk to a person sometimes because everybody's always
like catch their attention.
And then you're like, this is it, like true healing, you know, like try it now.
I think like that's the biggest thing that sells our product is like anytime we go to market, we can talk all we want and like people love our story, but we always have a sample with us and people try it on their knees or stuff and then they walk away. They always come back. So I feel like the product just speaks for itself when it comes to actual,
the knees work.
The knees start working.
Look at my knees so that's amazing. I love honestly the products that you have. Like the lip balm, I'm pretty sure that's one of them. That one. So that's I was like, probably gonna take some home.
We got you, girl. We got you.
So, so far, what's been the best method to sell your product? Like, what's been working for you? How have you been advertising, and which one has worked?
I think the best method right now has been showing up at our local farmers markets and showing up for our community. We love our Liberty Hill community. They are the ones who have believed in us and they have stepped up, like promoting our products, sharing our story when we're not there and like being the face of our product. Like I said, even when we're not there, like we hear people like, oh, we heard about you guys from somebody else. And it has been like word of mouth has been spreading, but, farmers markets have been the way that we're connecting with each community, whether it be Liberty Hill, Marble Falls, Austin. So
that's beautiful. No, 100%. I saw one of your videos, the other day and you were talking about like, oh, we got this order from like out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like we should have a map. I think y'all
yes,
should definitely have a map. Like that would be like super beautiful because then you keep track of like, okay, where we've been, you know, and where we are. So where exactly like do y'all prefer? Are y'all wanting to keep it within the States or like do you guys want to expand or like what's the vision there?
I would love for us to be found everywhere, whether it be like US and also like we can ship across the nations. Okay. That was my grandpa's wish, was for everyone to know about herbal healing. And as we continue to grow, like that's exactly what I want to do as well. I'm learning right now in Texas, but like you mentioned, we're starting to be known in other states, and it's like, do I even know what that means? Probably not. Like I can't mentally even know what that means, and we're just so small. We just started. And so, we're just whatever God has for us, but I can see big things for Papa Chilo's for sure.
I love that. Definitely. Like it's just so beautiful, you know, how like you start one day and then the next day it's a huge impact to so many people. And I completely agree. Like in America, you know, like I feel like it's good that we have natural remedies because don't even get me started on healthcare and how everything's going on right now. So you guys, I love the fact that, you know, you're going.
And that's why people are connecting so much with our brand, because not only we didn't just start to follow a trend because, like herbalism is becoming very well known, but we have been doing this for 3 generations now. So you can call us in a way like the industry experts. We know what we're doing and we've been doing this for so long. We've had someone that's been with us our whole lives, and unfortunately he's not here anymore, but we continue his legacy every day. So
no, that's beautiful. If you were to start this business again, like from scratch, how would you like start it? Like, do you feel like the process would be the same or or would you do something different? Like, how was the process? You know, like, tell us.
Well, we started off it was my mom and I, and we were in our living room. And I remember that I was like, I want to start this. I want to continue this legacy. So I grabbed my computer. I went on Canva and I just kind of started designing. And I was like, what would we want it to look like? Because we have always talked about this, but we never actually like put it in visuals. So we just started designing. And then from there, like we, in our living room, we did a mock like pop up of what we would want our setup to look like. We took a photo and I can share that with you if you'd like. And then from there, I was like, well, I think that we're ready, we'll just put like a label. It wasn't anything fancy or anything like that. It was like so simple.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing about starting was more the packaging, because like the recipes for us, like we've had them, like
the recipe wasn't an issue.
Yeah, so I think that's why she like didn't bring that up, even though it's like obviously the product, but the recipes were already known, like we already knew it. Sure, my mom had to mess around with like, making it in bulk now, some, just measuring things out and stuff, but it was mainly the designing and like her finding the markets for us to go to and stuff, so.
That's beautiful. Like getting the recipes are like family owned. Like you guys were the ones that came up with it. Like your grandpa, and you guys just measured it out to do the book. That's amazing. Okay, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So I don't think I would change anything, because each step of our process has taught us so much. Whether it be like let go of control and like let God do his thing through our business, because, a lot of the times you want to take control, but things don't work out that way. Like, sometimes God surprises you in really great ways. So, yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, working with your siblings sometimes. I mean, I'd say like, I'm the creative in the family. So like, she designed the original logo where it was just healing hands, and then she got me involved, and she was like, Kim, like, she showed me the vision, and like, for me, the salves, like, and they were just like everyday thing to me, where I was just so used to them. So like, I didn't think I saw the vision like the way that she did. So then when she finally was like, no, like, we can really sell this. And I was like, well, it wasn't even really about selling. It was more about like bringing it out to the world, like show. Yeah, it was. And I saw her passion. So, and like, I'm passionate about creating and stuff. So, I got on Procreate and I got a photo of Papa Chilo. And I can show you the original sketches and stuff, but started off with one, got their feedback. They hated it. So I was like, okay, let me try again. You're wrong. So they were like, no, we want something like more simple, minimalistic, so I was like, okay. So then the logo that's on there is the one I created from scratch, and I can show those. That's amazing. Sketches. So then it just felt honestly like more real whenever the new logo was on there, and like we worked on packaging. Like my boyfriend got involved as well, like he helped us pick out the packaging, and like he's more on the financial numbers kind of side, so he also like everyone brought their talents where it was needed. Okay. And like sure, we clashed at some point, like where it's like everyone's ideas is going, so we just had to figure out how to like work together. Okay. Everyone's talented in their own way, no one has kind of split the work based on your talent.
I love that. Yeah. And how do y'all, whenever you become into like a dispute or anything, how is that fixed? Like, do y'all like, okay, hold on, give me a second. I need to breathe. I'll be back. Or how is that whenever you guys come into like, I don't like this, change it?
I think it's like the same thing as like a normal sibling, like, argument. Like we literally just either walk away and then we're like, okay, like let's talk about it. But I feel like our relationship is so good where I know that like we get along as sisters very well, and even our brothers. So it honestly, it's not that serious. Like sure, we'll argue, but it's like we'll get over it like during lunch, like go get food or something.
So do you want coffee? Yes or no?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's always the coffee. Coffee makes everything so good. All right, so we're good now. Yeah, that is amazing though. What is y'all's favorite coffee order? Like,
I like my Golden Eagle Freeze. I actually don't even drink coffee
Dutch
all that
Bros.
often.
Okay.
Dutch Bros. I like the Golden Eagle Freeze if I do, but because I have back problems, actually caffeine is not good whenever you have back pain. So, like, okay.
Technical difficulties.
So we were talking and agreed that coffee was the solution to our problems.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad we are good there.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all have a 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan for the business?
I think I don't know if I have a 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. I don't know what God's plan is for us, but I do know that I want to continue doing this for as long as He has that plan for me, and just go out there, share my name, and whatever opportunities come my way, I will pray about it. And if that's in God's plan, like, I will do that. Yeah.
So give us some intel, like what kind of happens behind the scenes that people, don't know about? Because I know there's struggles, behind the scenes, like sometimes, and everybody just sees like the final product, but like how walk us through that, walk us through like the struggles behind the scenes and how you guys overcome that.
I think one of the biggest struggles right now has been, like, we started off all as a team, like all of us doing everything. And so it was nice. But now, since like Kim is starting a new job and Mac is like really focused in school, gonna be in New York soon, a lot of it has fallen on me. But it also has taught me, like, I am so much more capable of doing things than I give myself credit for. I've always doubted my abilities, and it's taught me so much. And Kim has been there whenever she can, and I know that as her schedule opens up, like, she will be able to be a bigger part of it. She used to be the one to run our social media, and maybe you guys noticed, like, where is she? And so she's just out there hustling and trying to pursue her career as well. So
and she's, learning. I think that's really cool. Is like, obviously at first she's like, Kim, I can't make a video without you. So like, just teaching her how to do it, and like, it's not that hard. And just seeing her like find her identity in it, and like confidence in the making of the social media posts and stuff. But yeah, I think everything's pretty calm, just because like there's no competition or anything like that. So I think it's actually pretty calm. I think the only like struggles is like going to farmers markets and finding out that like that's not our people, that like our target audience, and then not selling anything. And it's like, you think, I could have been out on us like a Friday night or something. So like that. But other than that, I think it's all pretty smooth.
yeah.
That's amazing though, that, at least everything gets situated. I feel like when it comes to new business owners coming up, it's like one downfall, and it's like, oh no, but that's really good that you have that mentality. And when it comes to like whatever God has installed for me, I feel like that's so beautiful. Because it's true. Like, we never know what's gonna happen tomorrow, later, in 10 minutes, and the fact that, you're taking it and you're putting it on God's hands, that's so beautiful. And I feel like the audience, like, can use that, like, preach that right here. For sure. So how do you guys stay consistent? I've noticed, you've talked a lot about God and, his positive income, like outcome towards everything. So, like, share that. Like, is there any, like, Bible verses that you like to talk about, or like, provide us intel on that?
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to have our own identity in Christ individually, so we can then bring it together. Iron sharpens iron. So I feel like the best way for us to stay consistent is like, we're pretty good at like having those deep emotional conversations, and like, I feel like most of our conversations bring up faith regardless, but it's just connecting it to real world events, and then our product, and how we want to raise our kids one day. And I feel like that's been her and my like greatest inspiration with our faith, is like breaking the generational curses, and like, just building up our future kids and kid, like, as best we can. But I feel like also, on a personal note, just making sure that I'm reading the Bible, that I have good community around me. And I will say, like, it's not my strength to memorize scripture. I'm not really good at that. But I try. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm trying.
I mean, I'm not the best at memorizing scripture, but something I noticed is, as I started reading my word, like, I feel so connected to all of these people that actually lived on this earth. So it's like, it's not that I'm memorizing word for word, but I can remember things, and I can be like, oh, like, this situation I can find it in this part of the Bible. But you can find 1 Peter 4:10 throughout our website, our social media, and that's each of you have received a gift and you should use it to serve others as faithful stewards of God's various forms of grace. So whenever I was starting the business, I was praying over it, obviously, because I had never started a business before, and I know that God spoke that scripture over us, and I speak that over any of you guys that are maybe wanting to start a business. Each of you have received a gift, and use it to the best of your ability. Don't let it go to waste, and whenever you use it, like, people will know that you are doing something you're passionate about. Like, it just comes out naturally. You don't have to force it. And so that's encouragement for anyone out there. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Honestly, yeah. That you provide such, really just a viewpoint into this. And to me, that's strong. That's super strong. So a lot of people are scared.
I was about to say, I feel like the world we live in almost like is looked down on, like, whenever you're so strong and firm in your faith. But I feel like that's the one thing that we are not ashamed of our faith. Like, we will preach the gospel all day, every day. So yeah, we're not afraid, and we know, like, the enemy will try and come in and attack, but like I said, there's like a B. as long as long as we know our roots, like, literally nothing can shake us. We have a firm foundation on our faith, and if you don't like it, sorry, but anytime you're buying our products, just know that it's a blessing. Like, we pray over them, and we always just the best towards you, so yeah,
that's beautiful, and that's good. And I'm glad you guys are not ashamed, because you have to stand firm. Even when it comes to running your business, you have to be like, no, like, there's a bunch of competitors out there. There's a bunch, like, you have to be so strong-minded and know, like, no, my product is my product, and I stand with
and like, that's what we've been to a lot of, like, CPG events where they're all free, and it's just like networking with people and getting, people that have had successful businesses give us advice. And one of the things that they do tell us all the time is, you can have people copy your product all day long, but the one thing that we have that maybe some other brand doesn't is our story. And our story is very powerful and strong, and just the personification of our product with our grandfather, I think that's like our strongest thing, and, like, that's our mission. So it's really cool that they tell us that every time. So yeah, but I don't ever think that we've ever felt threatened by, like, never. Like, we are just like, we're just doing
I see a really successful business coming into hand, honestly. Seriously, because I mean,
that's one of the things. It's not always about the money, and it's not always about, I need to do this. It's about, no, that I'm doing this because I want to do it. And when you're doing something with emotion and with love, like, that's more powerful than what anything, like, anyone, because you can have, like, all the right tools, all of the money, and if your heart isn't into it, no one's gonna be into it as much as you. So
like what we were just talking about.
Literally. So that's really amazing. I'm really happy about that.
Thank you.
So I was gonna start asking about, like, networking and everything. Like, how is it when it comes to networking, and how do you approach other business owners? Like, is it like, are you shy? Because I would be such a shy person, to talk to them. But how do you guys do that?
I think, like, the very first, well, even just going to markets, like the first market, talk about, like, rejection therapy. Oh my gosh, like,
ignoring us.
Yeah, it's so humbling to go out there and, like, your product is good, but, like, how do you actually convince someone of that? So, like, we mastered our 1 minute spiel to the customer. But yeah, like, it was really hard. And even, like, I'm pretty sure if today I was to go to a farmer's market, it's always like the first 3 rejections they hit, I'm like, I want to just die. But then it's like, once the third one, I'm like, okay, here we are. And so then you just, like, you gotta just put yourself out there, and, like, it's very uncomfortable, but you just get used to it. And, like, again, you're there for a reason. And then, but when it comes to, like, big networking events, the first one we went to is, like, we have to dress up really nice. It's downtown Austin, so, like, she already hates it. And so
I'm a country girl, guys.
So yeah, and, like, always being almost like the youngest in the room feels very intimidating because like these people and they could be putting up a front or a mask, but it's obviously like very intimidating because it's like these people, like a lot of them that are there already have like established their brand. So it's like, and then having to tell, but like our response has always been so positive. Like that's the one thing, like we could be nervous all we want, but like every single person says like, no, you guys can make it on like the shelves of Whole Foods. Like if you really do this right, like your story is amazing. Your product is amazing. So it's always like, we always go in so nervous and then we always leave so encouraged. Like we're like, oh my gosh, we got this. So we've been to a couple now that have been really nice. Yeah, that's my little take on that.
And then for me, do you want to pause that? Or
I don't think they can hear it.
I don't know.
No.
Okay. So meeting other business owners for me is like being able to relate to like a friend when you're going through things. And, I always go to business owners and I'm like, so how is your journey? How did you start? What stage are you in? And I love connecting with them. I love connecting with their stories and just being able to just work together, give each other advice. And, honestly, I don't find it hard at all because we're all looking for someone to find advice from. And, the CPG community in general, they are ready to help you. Like whenever we first joined, we heard that like the CPG community will take you in and they will help you. And now that we're in it, I'm like, I totally understand. So CPG stands for consumer packaged goods. So whether you have like beverages, herbal products, skincare, like we do. So like you can join that community through Slack and many other ways. So.
That's amazing. I love that. So to wrap this up and everything's, what advice would you give anyone watching interested in starting a business themselves? Like what from each one of you, like what advice would you give?
First of all, I would circle back to 1 Peter 4:10, hone in on your gifts and truly realize that you have a purpose here on earth that nobody else can match. And whenever you finally realize that, and hone in on that, things will open up. Doors will open up. And so a lot of the times the scary part is just starting and putting yourself out there. But once you do that, you're going to realize like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner? You know what I mean? So what would you say?
I would say like the one thing I have noticed with like business owners that have spoke to us, or even like when I see like a starting off business owner, is like they always tell us like enjoy the moment now. And like we have big goals and it's like we want to be on the shelves of Whole Foods and like all those kinds of stores. And they're like, that's awesome. Like you can get there, but like just they always tell us like what you're at now, the starting phase is like the best you'll ever have, like because you get to mess with your product, tweak things and stuff, and it's not like hard and have to announce a rebrand and stuff. So like they always just say like enjoy the now. And then also like just on a personal level, like I feel like sometimes you pray about something and once you get it, like you're immediately already praying for the next step. But it's like we never take time to enjoy and live in the answered prayer that is now. So I would just say have fun with it, enjoy every step of the way, and document it, because I really enjoy like taking photos and videos and stuff, because then you like look back and you just see how much you've grown. So yeah, that's what I would say.
That's amazing. That is amazing advice. So anybody wanting to start a business, you heard it from them, I'm so honored to be here speaking with you two, because I see a bright future coming, for the business and just in general. So that's Papa Chilo's Healing Hands, everyone. I love it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Y'all go, I'll be putting their details in, like,
the bio,
the
something.
Yeah. So you guys can go check out their product. It's such a good product. So just do that. And thank you so much for supporting. And thank you guys so much for everything.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Bye.